So, we're in the forest of Modren, the great snake winding its way through the canopy above, blotting out the sickly light of the sky. You have been travelling for several hours through the forest, encountering on your way several sleeping sisters hard at work tying vows and totems to the branches of the trees throughout the forest. You have decided to keep away from these and make your way towards your goal, the Shrine of the Vow.
Crazy.
White insect bodies dance and flutter around a pair of bleedwood statues. So those are the bleedwood statues. Filling the clearing with the sharing of 1,000 tiny wings. The place is free of tree trunks, but the forest canopy remains impenetrably dense overhead. You've got these two statues, one of which is in the shape of, it's a sort of roughly hewn wooden statue in the shape of a dominating 7-foot-tall figure with a great plague mask erupting from his face. From the way the two statues are set up, he is clearly sort of taking something from the second statue, which is of a human woman shape. Sort of too roughly hewn to be able to tell much, but there may be something atop her head resembling a crown. She is reaching up as if to give the first statue, which you identify as Father Plague, something, but the action has clearly been interrupted as her hands break off in splintered stumps, with just a few sort of moths fluttering around the area.
Right.
Yeah, something definitely nicked the hands.
Yeah, and that's the vow, isn't it?
Yep.
She's giving him the vow.
Why does it want the hands?
Because they're attached to the vow. You don't want to break the vow.
Oh, that's true.
You can't hack away at that, can you?
Do we want to? No, we want to purify.
We want to purify it.
Okay, we're
No,
going to steal
they
it.
said don't worry about purifying it.
But yeah, we want to take it back so it can be purified.
Eventually, we want to take it back to get purified.
Yeah, but they said don't bother about that bit now.
Yeah.
Nah, because
we don't want to
get it out of this place.
I don't know
the
what.
vow gross was what I got from that.
Yes, we shouldn't try to break the vow because. One moment. Apparently, we've not been imbued with the authority to dissolve a marriage, and none of us are legally able to execute a divorce.
Oh, yeah, no, that tracks.
That does track.
Also, let's not get the attention of either of those two people while there's like 6 other things keeping them immortal.
Yes, that would make sense.
Yeah, sensible.
Yes.
So, do we want to get a closer look, or are we just going to assume not here?
I mean, we know it's not here, but we might as well see if there's anything
Else?
else. Yes.
Keep an eye out for those sleeping people.
Yeah, and the snakes that look like trees that bite and make you die immediately or something.
And the moths are their eyes.
Yeah, and those. Are there any more of the vow things in the trees? Are there plenty of them still around this area?
There are, in fact, there seems to be sort of more in this area than before, still haphazardly placed, but dotted through this section of the woods, there are definitely...
On the picture, what are these bits again?
So those are the two... Oh, right, you mean the
bits
vines.
around
the
statue bases.
The sort of area around the statues seems thickly overgrown with vines and other such sort of wildlife, forest undergrowth.
Okay, so that feels like it's probably the murder vines.
You know, this sounds murder vine, doesn't it? It looks pretty murder vine.
Yeah. I might just send the goat for a leisurely walk round the clearing and just see if there's any sign of like an exit point, like where something might, like where somebody might have run off with something, where say some big hands off a statue might have been dragged. Is there any point that looks like anything has recently like left tracks, broken bits of
yeah, can you give me an investigation of the area check for your goat, please?
Can I add a thing for Borderborn? Is that allowed? Or
I'll
no?
give you some wilderness +1.
So +1 for wilderness. Cool.
Would it be? I was going to say, would it be helpful if I assist you by sort of like sneaking around the edge as well, like taking a second pair of eyes?
Is that
I think so.
allowed? Yeah, cool. So that's +2. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
6.
Okay, so one thing to note on helping out with allies like that is that when you ally on a test, you are also taking on basically the chance of cost or any bad things happening in that test.
Good to know.
But in this case, it is success, unless you want to try for a critical success of finding.
Why am I tempted? It's not like an important moment.
It's always there, though.
What do we think? There are more interesting moments to do the doing, isn't there? This is just a look.
Yeah, it's just.
I'm just going to look.
So, looking around the shrine, you will see. You don't see any sort of like drag marks or anything. The like she seems fairly like life-sized, so you imagine that whatever her hands were holding is probably small enough that it could be held by a single person. Didn't need to be sort of dragged off.
Yeah.
As for sort of exit points, it's a sort of open clearing, so certainly anyone could have gone in any direction. What you do see, however, is some of the vines around the base of the statues. You can see some sort of jet black snakes, about as thick as your arm, and coiling over the vines and in amongst themselves.
Really big snakes on the vines.
Oh, good.
I come back. The snakes. Oh, you already.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
we covered the snakes. Right.
Don't know where the hands are though.
I mean, Snip said the sisters took them.
Yeah, but
So-
where?
I mean, convent
Right.
seems like a good bet. I mean, they could have taken them anywhere, I guess, but convent seems like the base of operations makes sense, doesn't it?
Yeah.
I've got to say then, unless we're planning to try and, milk a black snake for its venom so we can trick someone into drinking it through this horn, I think we're probably done here.
That does sound like a good idea.
Unless
Usually, unlesses in this sort of circumstances would be a thing that we talked about doing, not something that you just pulled up. Fine, but no.
I thought we had.
No, that was never a plan. No.
Sorry, someone had talked about this. I thought
We
it was
did
you.
talk about it.
Okay, we talked about that this would be an option for using this thing, but not that we were going to milk a snake.
I think we did talk
Well,
about
where else were we going to get venom from?
that. I remember us talking about that.
Unfortunately, none of
Those
us
are
my
not
hair are
practical
agreeing
suggestions.
that yes, we talked about this. Did we talk about this?
You remember, right?
I don't remember that.
Oh, that
Yeah, but
doesn't
you're-
really help, does it?
You're
No.
pretty forgetful, right?
how can I confirm?
I can't remember.
Oh no.
Eldred.
Right.
Name counters at 5 for anyone keeping track.
Do we think we could get any information out of one of these sleeping sisters? Or do we just need to go to the convent and
Snakes
see?
for a second.
No, we're not going Terry.
All we're getting out of the snakes is venom.
We're not getting venom out of snakes.
As,
Do you know how to milk a snake?
as
I
you
was hoping one of
Snakes
you
have
knew.
teeth.
As you speak, you will see the snake sort of coiling around the twigs and the undergrowth, seeming to like pull together and grab various parts of it.
Okay, well let's back away from the snake pile.
Yes, let's-
Yeah, I think we can. Yeah, maybe back.
Retreat from the snake.
Snakes.
Convent?
Convent?
Convent.
Great.
These sleeping sisters don't seem particularly talkative.
No, I don't think we're going to get anything
Maybe
out.
you just need to chat to them.
No, you don't. No, you don't. You're not good at talking to people.
You're brilliant at talking to people.
Are we planning to
You're
mug
our
a
best
sleep?
talker.
Quick question. Are we planning to mug a sleeping sister for her teeth, or does that feel like kicking a wasp?
I think it's more like kicking a bee while stood next to the beehive.
Yeah.
Kicking the queen moth, maybe.
So no tooth mugging. Great.
How do you mug someone for their teeth? I think.
I mean, if we kill one anyway.
Yeah, if we kill one anyway, take the teeth. Absolutely.
I mean,
Right,
fairly
yes, I was
certainly-
taking for going tooth hunting.
I'm fairly certain in the short amount of time that I've been working with the guild that I've definitely buried someone who was mugged for their teeth.
We've just buried 2 people who were mugged for their teeth.
Yeah, after they were dead.
How bad is your memory?
Yeah, I mean, this one is looking a bit wormy. That's what I'm saying.
Now that they mention
Well,
it,
it's not.
it does ache a little.
Well, I could deal with that if you want. 2 birds with 1 stone.
Not right now.
Convent. Quietly.
So,
I'm
as
gonna
you,
die. So serious. What's wrong with you?
as you leave the shrine behind you, Jason, you're the doomed player. Excellent. You get a feeling to look over your shoulder.
Yes, I'm looking.
And you see sort of rising out of the undergrowth, the bracken and the twigs, a creature. It stands oddly. Its movements are stilted, as if rather than being a creature, it's a toy played with by a child. Each motion is accompanied by the scratching of wood, and as you watch, you see that it is made of bundles of wicker and dry wood, roughly tied together at the joints with snakes and scales as black
I hate
as
it.
obsidian.
Tied together with snakes.
Okay.
Its false
My
mouth
God.
opens wide, a foul mockery of a wolf's howl, as silent as the grave.
Run.
Right, we're
Yeah.
running. Okay. Why we? Oh,
Wicker
we're
wolf!
running.
Giant wicker snake wolf! Run!
Oh, I hate it.
Oh,
Oh.
as you like to see. There you go.
Oh.
You know what would be really good on fire?
Oh, it would be really good on fire.
We say while running.
Fire than it currently is.
Can I still see it?
If you were to turn, yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna do it. I'm doing it.
So
I'll have a quick look over my shoulder.
you turn and sort of focus on it, and sort of wisps.
Charmed eye effect.
Wisps of smoke sort of
Know what I
start to come from the creature. You think it would take some time. It's a candle-sized flame. It's not
Yep.
like it's on fire. You think possible, but it does seem to be sort of slowly making its way out of the clearing, coming in your direction. So you can continue to do this, but there will probably be a
I just don't
combat
think
or
I'm the
something.
kind of character that would continue when I realise it's not easy. To be honest.
I feel like the kind
If we're actually in combat, I will carry on. If
If
it's
we
not
can run
there,
out, if we
No,
can run away,
yeah.
let's run away.
certainly you guys are far enough away that like you can just turn. Like you can,
We are here to steal a legally binding contract, not to fight bramble monsters.
Yep.
What was it? What was it called? The
the Edova.
Edivine. I mean, Snip didn't specify it was a single snake, so
Didn't she say
snakes
and
and
divine?
yeah, but also mentioned bark, and that
Rashes.
causes rashes. I hate it. Let's keep moving.
We don't have any ointment. Right.
You quickly outpace the stumbling beast and make your way into the forest. And, was I right in thinking that you guys were heading towards the convent?
Yes.
Yeah.
Can I get another navigation check, please, from somebody?
Ooh.
Compass?
Yeah, you've got +2 for your gear, and if anyone has a sort of helpful trait.
I can again help with Borderborn if we want, or you could maybe
I
help
don't
with
think I
Marksman, I guess. But
I think Borderborn's more relevant.
good,
Yeah, I
woods
think
tracking.
Yeah.
I think
Again, I literally feel like all I'm doing is stopping us going in a circle. Like,
I shall be your compass caddy.
yeah. So
Is it a roll?
Oh, right.
Because you've got the
you've got
equipment.
the compass, so it makes sense for you to move.
Okay, we have a 6 with the compass and
the map.
the map. So
And the-
that's-
Andy, yeah,
So add 3.
Oh, 9.
nice.
Marvellous. Yeah, you're sort of backtracking a bit of the way. You have the compass. You're able to sort of keep on track. This map certainly seems very very useful. You come across. Convent is a strong word. It is. It is a decaying stone edifice, breaking out of the grassland around you, as if sort of out of spite rather than out of any actual sort of purpose or meaning. Deep within the forest of Modren, the deteriorating remains of a stone convent. The columns and arches of the main chapel are stark against the gloom. Its roof is lost amongst the canopy overhead. Crumbling almost to ruin, the vestry stands guard over some entrance. I'll not say that word. So it's this building. In fact, you will see that.
Kind of imagining evil Fountains Abbey right now.
Yeah. So fairly simply, it is a sort of old church with a spire sort of working its way into the canopy overhead. You can see sort of two entrances, one into the building itself and one that appears to lead downward into the ground.
Any sign of any sisters about?
So, from the outside, you will see a few sisters travelling out into the woods, having left the main chapel, sort of going out through that door, and just sort of wandering dumbly into the woods. But apart from that, there's not a huge amount.
Right.
Any signs of anyone else other than the sisters?
The place is as silent as the grave.
Okay. So. This reminds me a little bit of. Right, okay. When we were a lot younger, there was this particular warehouse. And without getting into too much detail, do you remember Toothwort Street?
Yeah.
Yeah. So there was the one where they used to store all of the Ironmonger stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. So.
Oh, Toothwort Street. You mean where he's heading if we don't get a tooth out of him?
No.
Well, it is where the barber surgeons would practice. Yeah. But I remember.
I shop round the corner though.
But right. Do you remember when when actually, yes, the barber surgeons on Toothwort Street caught fire?
Yeah.
Yeah, about 14 years ago now.
Sounds about right.
Yeah. So we did that so that we could get in while everyone was distracted and make off with a case full of silver bars that had been put in the warehouse, which set me up in a very nice nest egg. But that aside, the point is, if we caught. They are probably going to want to keep look after all their little hangy promises in the trees.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Now, if we set the forest on fire,
yeah,
and especially a whole bunch of that stuff, that might make them go and look at that.
Yeah,
which would give us some time to get in there. The question is, do we want to try and peek around a bit before or after we start a distraction? Because I don't think, you don't count, any of us want to get into a fight with 40 odd weird blindfolded moth dust.
I would like to not.
No,
if we burn the
that's a good
forest,
idea.
the snake will get pissed.
We want to make sure that what we're looking for is actually in there first, though, right?
Well, that's the thing.
Yeah, but we've got to get in.
There's two different, maybe we might be able, if we climbed up a tree or something, depends what the vantage points are, we might be able to see if what we're after is in the top bit. But if there's, like a crypt down there?
Probably.
That's one way in, one way out. We are not it's going to be a lot harder to get in there and take a look before we decide to go in.
Also, that might be where the dirt turns to meat.
That might be where the feet become meat. Now, in order to...
So your feet made off the... Never mind.
Feet down in the ground.
Yeah. Right.
Now, the thing is, that would be a terrible place to build a crypt. You'd be carving into meat.
Yeah.
Would you bury butchers down there?
Start a pie shop.
Have a little roast.
Maybe that's what the teeth are for.
What was Martin cooking? I've not seen anything you could cook in this place.
I need to know what you think the teeth were for. Because that didn't make any sense.
Lining the walls so it's not meat.
How is teeth better than
Why is that better than
It just feels like meat would be a bad place to inter corpses.
I am never coming around your house.
Specifically teeth.
This is your interior decoration.
I don't have a house anymore. That's why I work for the bloody grave diggers. None of us have houses anymore.
Because you lined your meat walls with teeth and no one wanted to come round anymore.
I don't
Shop was like, you went out of business.
I don't have a meat house, but if I had a meat house, I would prefer teeth to meat as a wall form. Don't get me wrong, there are many things I prefer over teeth, but no, you do not. Okay, apparently some people would prefer a meat wall.
Wood? In a forest, yeah.
Goat has a point.
Understand. Why do you think only teeth would solve this problem? Do you know how many teeth you need?
I can't look. I don't know what the fucking Sandworm's aesthetics are like. Anyway, we're getting distracted.
He does love teeth more than he loves anything, apparently.
Including wood.
From what I can see, Martin was cooking an extra well done steak.
Yeah, but was it from underground where the dirt becomes meat?
Unclear.
Okay.
Right,
We
sorry.
need,
Point
you are
is,
stealthier than any of us. Can you go have a little look in upstairs?
I can
and
try
see-
and have a little look in upstairs. The point is, we can set up. We can take our time to set up a distraction.
Yeah.
Like, if we want to, if we want to take some lantern oil, carefully pour out and light up a bunch of these little things so that we're ready, that they will catch quickly.
I have a
we could go
suggestion.
douse everything.
A suggestion from me would be that we set it up in the opposite direction than we want to go.
Yes.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's a simple one, but
And to what our planned exit route is.
Yeah.
can't get off the teeth wall in my head.
No, I can't. It's awful.
Some of us have to steal for a living.
That does not relate to what's... Never mind. This churchy bit. Who's it a church to? That's probably worth spotting. If you can see any... If you can sneak up, have a look. See if you can see the hands, see the vow, see if you can work out what they're worshipping.
Yeah, because if it's panic, that might be quite helpful.
That's actually not a
Or
bad
Panic's
idea.
brother, what's his face?
Hold on.
Also, if we can work out what its relationship to
Maybe.
I'm gonna
Father Plague. I got it right that time.
Okay, I'm going to swap out my stowed and readied gear. So I'm going to put away the Gravedigger's badge. Let's hope I don't need to identify myself in a hurry. And prep. Quill and ink is so annoying for this. Do we have any charcoal? Does anyone have any charcoal or anything? No. Damn. Okay, Quill and ink it is.
Could offer you a bone
And the diary, so that I've got.
You could burn you a bit of wood if you're desperate. For charcoal.
Actually, legitimately,
Just like a little- a little
let's take
piece.
a stick and
Yeah, and then
burn it.
stamp it out. That would
Great,
be-
that's perfect. Okay, now I have a charcoal stick and a diary, which is going to be a lot less faff than ink pots and so on. Because if I find any iconography or anything, now I can sketch it.
Yeah.
A quill and ink in a tree would be terrible. You
That
do make a
would
good
be
point,
bad.
actually. Yeah.
Yeah. Either climb up high or sneak up close, whichever's going to be best.
All right, I will do that.
What should I do?
Be quiet and don't move.
Okay.
Oh,
Does
God,
anyone?
now I feel like an arse.
If you could do that, but also give me a tooth.
No, don't do that. Although if we do end up in the place of the
By the
meat,
end of
we
the
might
game.
need to get... Legitimately, if we get to a point where we find the meat place, we're going to need a tooth from someone.
Because the only solution to the meat wall is...
No, it's to give teeth to the tooth person, not to make a tooth wall.
I'm just going for this one's interior design.
Look, we haven't seen what Snips' tree looks like. It might be teeth all the way down.
I mean, she gives the teeth to what's his face?
Yeah, the Zandverm.
Who loves teeth more than anything.
So,
Go look at the church, please.
yes. What I was going to ask is, has anyone got any rope or anything? I've got a net. That's not really great for climbing a tree with.
Literally just like a needle and thread and nothing else, unfortunately.
No.
We've got some daggers. That might give me a slight edge, but it's not really ideal. All right, I guess I'm just going to have to climb a tree. Yeah, looking at it. Actually, before I climb a tree, I'm conscious of the fact that there is a 4-foot diameter snake wound across most of the trees here.
Which one doesn't have a snake on?
Yeah, are there tree options that don't involve rubbing up against Modren?
So essentially at a certain height, sort of, I'd say about 15 feet up, you're gonna start sort of. That's where Modren
begins and continues.
Because the snakes and the vines are separate from Modren, yeah?
Yeah.
How much open space is there between us and the church? Like, is it possible to sneak up? Is it quiet enough around that you could potentially get there and look in without being seen?
Yeah, especially since with the snake blocking out the sun, everything is dark.
Okay.
So
it doesn't necessarily have to be a tall climb. It could be a sneak up.
Okay. Yeah, so I'm gonna.
So you want to get a vantage point?
Get a vantage point so I can so I can do a little bit of reconnaissance. In terms of relevant things, I got light-footed. I don't know how helpful.
I think a +1 for climbing and stuff.
Yeah, it'd be slightly better for getting close with, I guess, but I'm not. If I can do at least some recon without getting close, that would be quite nice.
I know.
Can I give you a boost up the tree? Would that help as a start?
Genuinely, yes.
None of us have got much flesh on us. We can help each other.
You can stand on my shoulders.
No, don't do that.
That'll work.
You'll be
That'll
crushed.
work.
It also wouldn't give me that much of a leg up.
Look after your leg.
Look, I appreciate the offer, Ethelric, but it's really not just.
It's actually, I'm a doctor, and it's a good thing to kind of put a bit of weight on injuries to heal them up.
No, don't do that. Don't do that.
I think it's strength, physiotherapy.
I don't know what I'm talking about. Can I get a
This
climbing
spear is
tree
also a
check?
mobility aid.
No, you can be, but don't let people climb you.
Am I under any particular time pressure or
Don't
not?
think so. That you're not currently sort of spotted, so you can certainly take your time.
Okay, that's probably the best. So.
And I'm giving you a leg up.
And I'm giving you a leg up. That makes it a 6.
Then you're brilliant. And you sort of climb your way up the tree, get a bit of a vantage point to take a look. I'd say you're sort of maybe a few feet below Modren. This close, you can see that her scales are sort of mottled black, a faded green and white, but mostly black. The church, in fact, you can sort of see through a couple of the sort of windows set into the side, which you assume at one point were made to let in the light. Within, you can see the dots of various candles that do little to illuminate the inside, but from the movement you imagine perhaps being held by somebody.
Okay.
Is there anything in particular you're wanting to sort of get a good angle on and take a look at?
I think the first thing that comes to mind is I'm seeing candles that look like they're being held by somebody. Can I get any sort of a count or an estimate of how many someone's are in there?
You reckon on a quick count you get at least 10.
Okay.
and it's hard to say, like from your angle, how much of the room you can see, that sort of thing. So definitely not a
Not an exhaustive search by any means. I think we said iconography, anything.
Yeah, so from the outside, you will be able to tell that at least at one time this was a church to the Divine Corpse, the sort of monotheistic religion that you, of course, all ascribe to.
Yeah.
Yeah, no heretics here.
No.
Wait, there are heretics?
No, yes. Yes, there are. How have you not noticed? 1.5 at least.
Yeah, so...
I mean, I know I'm small, but really?
Oh, honey.
Oh, no.
Yeah, so at least at one point it was a church of the Divine Corpse. The windows in the side do look big enough for a human to get through, although it might be a bit of a struggle for most of you. And inside you will get the sort of faint outline of pews from within. Sort of.
We're only on one side of this building, aren't we?
Yeah. So you'll be on the side closest to you, essentially.
While he's climbing a tree, can I have the goat do a leisurely circle right around the edge of the clearing? I think it would probably stay not in the like super clear bit near the church, but just like generally make its way around and have a little.
Yeah, I think I'm going to ask for another
that's fine.
checking a clearing check.
Yep.
From the goat.
Yep. So
Hey.
it's just a straight check, really. Isn't
Yeah.
it? Yeah.
Can you do 2 dice because we're doing it slowly?
Yeah. Can I do
Yeah,
that?
go for it.
Cool. Well, that's decent actually. So that's a 6.
6 will do it. Yeah, taking a look through, you'll get a lot of the same information here. The other side of the sort of building definitely shows damage, the wear of time. No one's sort of upkeeping this building. It all seems fairly damaged. I think in the time that you guys have spent as well, a few sisters have basically come back from the forest and heading into the chapel. And sort of there seems to be some, not like a high volume, but some flow coming in and out.
Are they still just making the wreaths?
The ones out in the forest are, yeah.
That's actually a good question. Do they leave with wreaths and come back wreathless, or like does it look like they're making them here and then taking them out?
Yeah, so they I'd say yes, they seem to be leaving with wreaths.
And are any of them coming in and out of the stairs, like the downstairsy bit?
No, you haven't seen any traffic there.
Okay.
Trying to think of that.
And no sign of the hands?
Beyond the, I mean, yeah, like an obvious check is, can I see a pair of wooden hands holding up a vow anywhere?
Not from.
Yeah, I can't see the altar from where I am at all. Can I?
No, and the sort of the candle lit.
Yeah, I'm getting
sense
bits
inside
of it.
is not going to sort of give you enough to.
Yeah, so I can tell that there are some in there. And the figure that I assume from what little I can see of the candles, figures holding candles, they're not moving around a lot, are they? It's more like they're just in one place, or
Seem to be, yeah. The only sort of sense of motion you're getting is the simple small motions of someone stood. Like a candelabra would be completely still.
Yeah.
Right.
A person has slight motion to them, but you're not getting much of sort of wandering.
Okay. Right, well, I'm going to climb back down and meet up with the others. Conveying. Right, so. Well, okay, so there's. I saw at least, I think, 10 of them holding candles. Bearing in mind I've only seen a fraction of it, let's assume that. Paranoid? Yep. Let's assume there's 40.
Okay.
It's a lot of them.
Well, I could only see a quarter, like, I could see less than a quarter of the room.
Right, okay.
Couldn't
sure.
see the far end. This definitely used to be a chapel to the Divine Corpse.
Yep.
Long may he rot. But they do seem to pop in and out a bit. Didn't see anyone going into the crypt though.
Okay. So it could be in there where they all are. Or it could be down below.
I mean, if it's laid out the way that we used to with churches, probably, if it was going to be in there, I assume it would be on the altar. But the only way for us to get a look at the altar is either get up to a window and take a look in, or the front entrance doesn't have doors, does it?
No, it is open. Any sort of...
or for us to...
anything there has sort of rotted away.
Get into a position where we can look through the door, which obviously means that we're going to be right in the view of anyone coming in or out.
Yeah.
I mean, distraction was a pretty good idea.
But
it's whether they'd all come out for it.
Yeah.
How should I know?
And... okay, despite what all of you are wow, really? Okay. Despite what all of you are saying, I don't know if today is the day to burn down a church.
No, I don't think it... yeah. I think we're all in agreement on that one.
What do you think?
3 out of 4 of us are in agreement on that one.
The only problem I see is that I can only do small flames.
That's
take a really
kind of
long
heresy,
time.
isn't it?
I feel like they've pretty thoroughly desecrated this
is
church.
heresy already.
This is heresy
Yeah,
up to
fine.
the eyeballs.
It was a bit
the
more.
teeth, I suppose.
And I think that's a good place to take a little break and come back to this next time on Doomsong. All right. Thank you guys, and tune in for the thrilling conclusion.
In the beginning, the immortal was murdered. Leaving the divine corpse in a shallow grave, the traitor gods spread throughout our fair land. Youngest of these is Pestilence, Father Plague, Herald of the Final Days and High Lord of the Plaguescape. He is a creature whose very presence demands opposition, whose call can only be answered with our own. Bring out your dead! Tell me, little gravedigger, how will you bury yourself?